Hippopotamus!
Sumatopopih. Give me a difficult one.
The people of Carlow are familiar with children's writer David Donohue. One of the town's opticians is giving away a free copy of one of his books to under-12s who come in for an eye test.
I've known Dave for years, and I've known his books, and I know the imagination that goes into them, and I just think it'd be nice to give that imagination to the youngsters of Carlow. So I have a free offer for under-12s, and I just think they'll get a great kick out of it.
In nearby Tullow, David is invited to speak to 6th class at Scoil Mhuire Lourdes. This is the kind of spelling workshop he does in various schools around the country. This session is certainly holding these girls' attention as it encourages them to think about words and then to go on to write stories.
The boys were fascinated by Walter's gift, and they loved when he pronounced their names backwards. Walter's friend Levon Allen became Novel Nella. Aaron Kelly became Nora Yelek. Danny Biggles became Yenad Sel Gibb. And Mr. Strong became Mr. Gnorts. And they loved to invent sayings like, I see warts on Mr. Gnorts. Or Mr. Gnorts, like a skunk he smells, like a pig he snorts.
This is about developing the English curriculum programme for the school, and we were delighted to have David, who is a local author. It helps to stimulate the children and encourage them in the writing process and understand how authors write stories and how they begin and end.
Every book starts with a very simple idea. A simple, clear idea. And then that's where you begin to write. Then that's where you start to develop your characters. That's where you start to develop your story. And I always say that a story is about 3 things. Do you know what they are? What happens? What happens next? And then what happens?
They're very interested in what he's saying. He's come with a novel idea. Maybe children who have learning difficulties themselves will identify with the character Walter because he spells backwards. And this is a light-hearted approach to writing. It takes the work out of essay writing and composition in school, and they see that writing can be fun rather than a chore.
So is there someone here who might like to know what their name is backwards? You can give me your full name, first and second name. You know what I'm going to tell you? Be prepared, because they're going to sound a lot better backwards than they do forwards. You might even want to change your name by deed poll to your backwards spelling. What's your name?
Tiffany Griffith.
Tiffany Griffith would be Unifid Thifferg. See what I mean? It's fantastic. When I was a kid, backwards spelling was something that some teachers didn't really approve of because they felt it was disruptive, but I was disruptive anyway, so that helped. But I do remember distinctly some people saying to me, what use is backwards spelling? Why are you spelling backwards? What use is that going to be to you when you grow up? And I have to say that without backwards spelling, I probably wouldn't be a published author. It was the hook that allowed the publishers to think, okay, this is something, this is a story we haven't heard before. And also the fact that I can spell backwards myself. To have been able to keep that alive in my life and be able to turn it into books and entertainment for children is just absolutely fantastic privilege.
David Donohue loves horses. He worked as series creator on the BBC RTE co-production Saddle Soap in 2001, which was about the work of trainer Jessica Harrington. Today, his friend Michael Kelly, who trains racehorses just on the outskirts of Carlow town, is happy to have David drop by.
I tell him how to train horses and he tells me how to write children's books, so it works out well. I think I get the better deal. So I come up here and watch the horses and hang out with them and talk horses, and you know, it is great. He's a trainer. I sometimes go to the races with him. And so yeah, and horse racing has filtered into my life as well, in that I've written some articles for the Irish Field about horse trainers and jockeys, and I wrote for the Irish Racing Annual recently, and I'm working on horse racing script that the film board funded a couple of years ago, and I've been developing it ever since. I'm working on the script with a New York co-writer. I often do a bit of writing in Cafe Fermenti in Carlow when I'm in town. It's my local hangout, and so it's about the world of pony racing and horse racing. So I managed to try and bring my love of horses into my writing whenever I can.
Music is also a huge part of David's life. He occasionally collaborates with fellow Carlow resident David Ayres. When not writing books, television documentaries or racing articles, David is writing songs.
You won't find love hard to come by. You stay with me, I'll leave behind my roving eye. And so the primary school goers of Carlow have a chance to step out of the everyday routine when David Donohue enters the room. Through his enthusiasm and passion for words, he has made these classes entertaining and something the pupils look forward to with enthusiasm. Would you like to try and spell the word anti-disestablishmentarianism?
No.